Ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a warm welcome to Avery and Brian Baker.
Aloha! I am often asked, what is it like to work with your son?
Raise your hand for me if when you were growing up, your parents got on your last nerve. I see a lot of hands.
These days, we're finding ourselves having to connect with people in multi-generational workplaces. I'm excited about this session. I think it's going to be very lit.
Very lit.
Absolutely. There's different perspectives on things like communication style. How do we collaborate more effectively? What is the culture that we're trying to develop? Even having a sense of urgency.
I just experienced the Avery and Brian experience, and you've got to test it out for yourself. It is an amazing opportunity to really hear from a father and son dynamic duo. So do yourself a favor, book them today.
A customer denotes a cash transaction, an exchange of money for goods and services. That's transaction. But a guest, well, that's somebody that you would invite in to your space. You would welcome them into your home. That's relational. What we want for all of you to do when you leave this conference, go back to your workspace. You gotta start treating each other less like customers and more like guests.
How are you going to show up better for those around you if you aren't showing up better for yourself first? If you aren't getting to know your story, or if you aren't giving yourself some grace, or if you aren't being mindful about your daily digest. You see, if you want to have healthier, more meaningful relationships in your life, it starts with you.
It was wonderful to hear about the different trust makers and trust breakers, which can help build your team up or break it down. I cried, I laughed, and I just had a wonderful time.
Trust maker number one is sharing the rationale, your why behind the decisions you make. When you're able to share that with people, kind of let them in a little bit on what your thought process is and be vulnerable enough to do that. And vulnerability on its own is a trust maker. But when we give people the why behind our actions, that builds trust.
Trust breaker number one is lacking accountability. Mistakes happen, we all know that. But it's how we respond to those mistakes that can determine how trust is formed. And if you aren't able to say, my bad, if you aren't able to take accountability for your own actions, it may be a wrap when it comes to trust.
I would encourage you to come and listen to their story because it's impactful. Bring tissues, but also get ready to laugh and learn.
I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the gift of time. So when you think about your relationships, are they where you need them to be? And are they where you want them to be? And if not, what are you going to do about it while you have the gift of time? Listen, what I'm about to say, it may not be for everybody in this room, but I promise you it's for somebody in this room. If you have important relationships in your life that are in need of repair, do your part to fix it. Do your part to fix it so you don't have any regrets before you no longer have the gift of time.